We live?
Yep. All right, we're live. We got Parker Mitchell in here, my preferred Mitchell brother for sure.
And dentist.
And dentist, exactly. I should really come in at some point because my teeth are needing some help. But
Dude, I got you, brother.
At some point, I really need to.
Yeah.
But Parker hasn't been on in like almost a year now, so
Yep.
it was kind of time to sit back down. I cursed him on one podcast with his car sale. Feel bad about that. And then me and Spencer talked. He brought up your Thai boat a little bit, and I was like, no, I don't want to curse him. I don't want to talk about it.
Dude,
and I talked about it regardless, but I feel bad if I cursed that vehicle as well.
Right.
So you are back from Thailand.
I'm back. Made it.
Since you were on, you sold your Mustang.
I did.
You got out of drag racing.
I had a little bit of seller's remorse like last week. A little bit.
When you saw it, no prep racing.
Well, I knew he was going to do that. And I thought it was really cool, you know, like that. And he's been crushing it. He's been doing really good. He's been winning a lot of races. I mean, the car is fast for what he wanted to do with it. And I don't know, man. Like, I'm starting to make a bunch of videos again. I'm like, dang, it would be nice to have that thing. I saw like I have a list of videos that I want to make. And one of them was taking Dr. Pepper to the a valet at like the Ritz-Carlton. You know, I would have been sick to like roll up to the Ritz with Caroline and
a classic.
Yeah, classic like
the classic
guy.
YouTube video, because I think we brought the Dale truck there one time.
Did you?
To International Mall at like Capitol Grill, and it's like stick shift. So the guy was like,
yeah, right.
He climbed in through the window. Respect.
Hey, respect.
I mean, he did climb in through the window.
At least put the steering wheel back on and everything.
Yeah, he did.
Been great to have a GoPro running and just been like, dude, no, there's no keys. You'll figure it out.
That video is got to be posted. It may be inside of another video, but
I think I remember seeing it.
It's way long ago. It's one of those things you don't think about because it's like a repressed memory. Because like I hate the like secret filming. I hate that. I was kind of like,
I'm not good at it.
It's just not fun. Like, I don't like filming like a secret video like that where the guy doesn't know he's on camera.
Yeah.
Like the prank channels, I could never do that. It's just like not fun to me.
It's hard. It's hard for sure.
People like Ross who do that around here all the time.
I know. You can't really enjoy the moment either because you're trying to frame it right. You're trying to get the shot, you know, of the people and their reaction and everything. And I don't know. I'm a big like living for the moment guy. So yeah,
I didn't film my last burnout contest. I just didn't film. I just went there.
Yeah, you probably had a ton of fun.
It was a lot of fun, and everybody was filming. And of course, those events, like there's so many videos anyways that
there is,
if you don't sit home and get it out at midnight, you feel like you're already late.
Oh,
anyways.
dude, for sure. You got to be number one. You got to be the first three guys to put it up.
Exactly. So you kind of. It's like whatever, and then I get to just come talk about it on the
That's
podcast.
why I think I'm going to go to JH's New Year's party and just go live the whole time.
That's a good idea.
So that I get the footage out before everybody.
Maybe put like can you put like a 5-minute delay in a live just like from your phone?
Yeah.
Because that would be great.
Right.
If you could have like a kill button.
Maybe we shouldn't film this.
Just in case. Because they have that on all the lives where it's like a kill button. In case. There's always a delay.
Shut it. Yeah.
Like Chris has that. But your Mustang, now it's in what? Arizona? Vegas?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Doing no prep. It's back to its roots.
No prep, street racing, whatever he's doing with it, but he's just doing really well. It's cool. You guys can follow him on Instagram. If you go to my video on Teeth and Turbos about why I sold Dr. Pepper, when I sold Dr. Pepper, it was like 2 weeks ago. There's a link in that bio or link in the description for his Instagram. And
it was no prep when you got it. That was its original purpose was a no prep car.
Yeah, there was like huge steel plates in the trunk and like it was on slicks and it was good to learn how to drive a car on slicks when I'd never done it before and then go to a radial because I felt like a wheelman.
Radials are the king.
Dude, it's so easy.
I know. I think people like drag racing's super simple unless something goes wrong, and that's like the rare occurrence. So you can never really practice for that.
Right.
Like I saw Adam LZ one time, his car like switched lanes and was like basically about to spin around on him on the drag strip. And that probably felt more normal to him.
Right.
Like a car almost crashing into a wall probably felt more natural.
I mean, you tried drifting. That didn't go very well.
No, I'm horrible at drifting. I tell everyone that. I'm so bad at that deal. But other issues definitely don't help me on that type of deal. Like starting with a car that's already a drift car is not the smartest.
I mean, Garrett
move.
tried that too. I mean, he had a tough time wheeling that pro car.
That's why he doesn't do drift events at the Freedom Factory anymore. He only has events he can win.
Yeah. Anything with aviation or like a couple laps, he's down.
Yeah. Or like spectator drags, all in, burnout contests, all in.
Yep.
But then, what, they did 3 of those drift contests there, and then they're like, yeah, done, dude.
Gary can't compete. He's not doing it.
Sold his car. He's out. Had the Mustang from
Figure 8
Vaughn.
laps in a school bus, down.
Gars is actually really good at that.
Did you see Tour Destruction blasted him?
Yeah.
That was so funny.
That was great marketing on their part. I was like,
Dude,
solid move to roast
know.
Garza.
I know.
He kind of has the school bus driver energy.
He does. I could see him. That's like a good retired job for him.
Yeah, I would trust him as a school bus. We used to have school bus drivers that would run red lights all the time.
Yeah.
Like, they were the most wild people on the payroll.
He'd probably be dressed up all the time, just taking selfies with all the kids in the bag.
His booster seat for the school bus. Garrett told me he had to drive a school bus for a school bus driver at one point.
Really?
When he was a kid, because the school bus, he said that they got they couldn't three-point
I
turn it.
I remember something about that.
Yeah.
I can't. I mean, I don't.
I'll ask him the story. I'm sure he remembers it.
Yeah.
So you're back from Thailand.
Yes, the Thailand trip, dude. Holy crap.
That looked awesome.
It was. And last time we talked, I didn't even have it in the works yet. It all came together like in April is when I put that energy out.
Yeah.
So you and I sat down in January. I mean, we've seen him on the social media for years.
Yeah. That was one of those things. Like, we've all seen those Thai river boats, but actually committing to wanting one is pretty crazy. I'm surprised you did it over there too, instead of trying to piece together your own junk in the US like you would think.
Yeah, well, I think that, I wanted the novelty of it. And I really didn't really know how achievable it was until I found the right people. It was all about the team we put together. Mm-hmm. And this guy, Will, that I met, he's just been over the top helpful, and he's an incredible guy. So
yeah,
he's one of us. He's an entrepreneur, Thailand, American Thai guy that just he loves motorsports, boats, and then being an entrepreneur on top of it.
And he was the guy in the video that owned that marina, or
yeah, super sick.
Can he even own the marina, or is that not allowed? Because isn't it
there's a lot of weird laws, and I don't know the specifics.
Yeah, because I heard that before, where only Thai people can own property in Thailand, which is crazy.
He's Thai. He was born there.
That makes sense.
He's got a Thai. He's a Thai citizen,
so he can own it. Yeah,
his mother's 100% Thai.
It's very weird that they have that rule where some American can't just go buy a hotel.
Dude, you know what the weirdest thing that really threw me off too is when you're here in Florida, and I'm sure it's like this in a lot of the U.S., is that there's aviation everywhere. I'm like, bro, you are so far out here in the middle of nowhere. You guys need a helicopter or a bush plane. Mm-hmm. He's like, you can't have that here. There's no planes in the sky. There's no helicopters anywhere. You don't see anything.
I have a helicopter fly over my house 4 times a day.
I know.
I live in basically a trade route for helicopters. I think I think over my house is actually part of their flight plan for every helicopter in the.
I even met an American guy there that lived on the lake on a houseboat who was a huge helicopter guy. Flew helicopters his whole career in the military, and he actually was close friends and flew with one of our instructors when we went to the MD training in Phoenix.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's like, dude, I'm dying to have a helicopter here, but the government will just take it from you. Really? Yeah.
So even I guess you would know if you went through all the work to get one there, and to have one, you would know that they're going to take it from you. So probably not even bother. But they have nice cars and stuff there. It's not like it's not like it's cars. Poverty where people couldn't afford them. Yeah. There's plenty of people that can.
The cars there are so cool, dude. Because anytime Caroline and I go somewhere weird Alaska or Thailand or wherever, I always rent a car.
Downtown Bradenton.
Very wild.
That's a weird place, dude.
We rent a car, and there's semis or trucks. Every single car has at least wheels on it, And then you'll see a truck driving on the road with a titanium rear bumper cover, and you're like, that's sick. Yeah. These guys, I love it. Makes
sense.
Yeah, everything's rolling coal. Everybody's hauling the mail down the road.
I think anytime a place like that is island-ish, not really island-ish, but where importing stuff isn't as common, where there's less of a throwaway society, I think they probably just continue to make their one vehicle better and better.
Yeah.
Instead of like us, where we're kind of just like, there's so many cars around, you just kind of
I'll sell it and
get the new thing. Yeah, they kind of just keep progressing on their few cars that they have. It's like in Cuba where there's like,
yeah, they've had the same car since the 50s.
Yeah,
know?
They just have to keep making them work. You can't just get a new one.
Right.
And it seems like Thailand's kind of the same way.
Yeah.
Some of their electrical system seems like the same shoddiness.
So you want me to tell a story about like how it all came together? So I'm a big boat guy, and I put out a post on Instagram. If y'all haven't seen the Thailand video, you should check it out. It's super sick. I spent a lot of time on it.
Steve and Turbo's
I'm so hyped.
Please help him. He needs to recoup some money.
I need the subscribers.
Guys, please.
No, the money's a loss. Definitely losing money there.
Dude, not after the bump of this podcast. You'll be in the green before you know it.
Thank God I'm a dentist.
So I'm pretty confident in the not.
My projection showed a break even, and that was before I went there.
By 2050, at this current rate of growth, maybe.
My accountant's like, this is just not working for me, this whole YouTube thing.
You can just write it all off, though. It's all a business
It
expense.
is pretty much everything I do for YouTube. Of course it is.
Yeah, I mean, you're in the public eye, so.
So I put a post on Instagram and said, I'm looking for anyone in Thailand that speaks English. Just like a blank slate words, right? Mm-hmm. Some kid messaged me and goes, yo, I got a buddy. Let me put you guys in touch. Sure enough, I met Will. Will, Thai-American, born in Thailand. He went to OSU, and he owns and operates a marina. And I'm in Thailand. I'm like, this is my guy. Yeah. Like how this is meant to be, right?
Perfect case scenario.
I told him what I wanted to do, and he's like, heck yeah, man, let's do it. I'm like, all right, cool. So he set out and found like a boat builder, right? So he went out and found like basically like the Steve Morris of, the racing world kind of thing. But he didn't really know that that's who he found.
He didn't know that he found like Billy Badass boat builder.
He didn't. No, he didn't. And that guy's name is Bird, right?
Bird.
Okay. We'll call him Bird. And so him and Bird get in touch, and I'm like, all right, well, how much is this thing going to cost? And they're like, well, it's going to be like 460,000 baht. So I'm like quickly Googling like baht to US dollar conversion. Mm-hmm. It's like 12 grand. I'm like, all right, I can make this work. Yeah. And so I'm like, all right, what do you need? He's like, half up front and then half when they deliver. And I'm like, boom, wire sent. I'm like sitting there on the couch with Caroline. I'm like, I'm about to wire this kid in Thailand I've never met before. We've never talked on the phone. We've only Instagram DM'd, 6 grand. And she's like, oh, are you sure? Like, have you Googled him? I'm like, I'm going to Google this guy? Yeah. Like, there's nothing's going to come up, right? And I was like, whatever.
At least it was like a wire transfer from your bank, not like, go to Western Union, like a money order from Walmart, like one of those type of deals where you're not seeing that money.
Right. And send me a picture of the confirmation code.
Yep, exactly.
No, I wired it to him. Will's very type A, like he's like, he sends me a list of stuff I need to do. And very like bullet point, very like, this is my everything you need. Yeah. I'm like, my guy, like this is the guy I like working with.
Business owner,
yeah, for sure. So send him the money, a couple weeks go by, and then he starts sending me pictures. Like they start rolling out pretty quick. I'm like, all right, do we have a timeline? And
did you customize it at all? Like you just sent him the money and like build a boat?
That's the funny thing is like that's kind of what I was going to ask for specifics.
Like a dealership, they're like, well, this is what we can do.
No, they basically, I was like, this is what I want. And he's like, all right, it's 12 grand. I didn't even know how long it was going to be. I didn't know the power. I just I just want the smokiest diesel longtail riverboat. Like I want to roll coal.
Yeah.
And so then wire the money. And then he starts sending me pictures. And that's when I started being like, yo, how big is this thing? He's like, no, he sends me the first picture of like a plank of wood on a thing. And he goes, hey, what color do you want the upholstery? And I'm like, we're getting upholstery in this thing, dude? What?
That sounds dealership-like.
Yeah. And I'm like, all right, well, I thought the first question would be like, what kind of wood do you want it to be made out of?
Yeah. How heavy? Because I'd imagine the wood weight is probably a big part of it.
Yeah.
Because like when they start racing, you probably start thinking about that.
Yeah, my boat's, apparently it's the top dog. It's like the baddest of the bone. Mm-hmm. Like everyone in Thailand dreams of having the boat that I got. you know. So
You just stole it from them.
yeah, but dude, they're loving it. Like all the Thai comments, like YouTube's got this great feature of like translate to English, you know, and like just flooded with support. Like they're just loving the fact that a white American came to Thailand to like buy one of these boats.
Well, they actually really appreciate tourism. And they
do.
really want it.
Yeah, they do.
I think that's why there's so many Thai restaurants in the U.S.
Yeah.
It's actually a government's program to have people in the U.S. like Thai food.
Yeah.
So they started so many Thai.
The Thai food is great.
So they want people to go to Thailand. So they're probably excited for some tourism plugs, especially after COVID.
So yeah, we finally got a timeline. He's like, all right, it'll be ready in October. I'm like, cool. It's home October 15th. Knowing that I had a week off, I could take a week off around Thanksgiving. And because, you know, you want to tell them like a month early because you know it's going to run late or whatever. And sure enough, it ended up getting finished like a week before I got there. And
usually in automotive, you end up showing up and having to work on it yourself.
Right.
Is how timelines often go.
Yeah, exactly. Especially something custom, you know?
Yeah.
So May sent the wire around like July. I booked flights. And then we just went, man. I got videos and pictures along the way. And, you know, I showed up. Boat was there, ready to go. They had tested it already. And then we didn't launch the first day. Like the second day, like the boat builder, the whole builder, the engine builder, and all their teams came and like got me going.
How long is the boat?
It's about, they say it's 7.5 meters, which is like close to 30 feet long without the tail.
Yeah, without the tail.
The tail's like another 10 feet.
Wow, I didn't think it was that long from the videos. I was thinking like 25 feet.
It's massive.
Yeah.
Like when you see it for the first time in person, you're going to be like, holy crap.
Yeah, and it's wide too.
Yeah, it's probably like 5 feet wide.
If it's 2 people wide, I mean, that's pretty significant, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's a long-ass boat.
You can fit 8 people in it.
Holy crap.
I mean, not comfortably.
Yeah.
8 Thai people.
8 Thai people.
They're a little bit smaller than a big fat Americans.
That's true. We are leading the world in heftiness. We're doing great there. So you decided on October 15th was the date to go pick it up.
Yeah.
And that's also tough too, because I was thinking that when you were going there, how many different angles you could take with the content to make.
Yeah.
And that's a tough thing in itself, because there's probably different, like you could probably ask 10 different content creators how they would go about that.
Yeah.
And they would have all done it differently. And it's kind of about getting the most out of it, even though.
Well, I was like, do I want to put a video out now before I go to like say, hey, this is what I'm going to do and build some anticipation, or just like wait and don't post anything until like the first video drops?
Yeah.
What would you have done?
I don't know. That's tough, because you almost need to keep like some hype rolling beforehand. But I feel like just showing it is the best way. But then nobody really understands the hard struggle you went through beforehand.
I know.
Until you tell them backwards.
Yeah.
Which is tough. I like that you didn't do a long video. That was smart.
Like a 40-minute video.
Yeah, because some people would have done a really long video. And
I don't have the attention span to make a 40-minute video.
Yeah, I know. It's hard, too, because I don't know if like people would really resonate through much of the video.
Yeah.
At that point, you almost need like all the action in a 10-minute thing.
Yeah.
It's tough. I was thinking about content when I saw it happen. I was like, how do you maximize that effort?
Yeah, there's some other things I wanted to do with it when we were there, but just didn't really play out. It's stuff we could do when we get home with it.
Was there crocodiles in that water?
Dude, there's nothing. There's nothing. There's no gators. I'm like, before we went out there, I was like, yo, is there anything in the water I got to watch out for?
Yeah.
He's like, nah, man, there's no gators. There's no snakes. There's nothing that can hurt you. And I was like, except for this boat.
Yeah. That you have to move the whole engine on.
Bro, crazy.
It looks heavy.
It's heavy, and it's very powerful, and you're exhausted after driving it.
And it's an iron block.
Yeah, it's iron.
Okay, that's great. So you could probably put like an aluminum block.
It's pretty well balanced
in there though, and it'd be
with the tail and everything. Like,
but just weight that you have to move yourself.
Yeah,
when you're trying to turn it.
It needs some help. Like they haven't. Those guys grew up driving them, so they can wheel them pretty good. But for me, I felt like an idiot. You know, even let my buddy drive it, the wheel drive it. He felt like an idiot too. Yeah. It needs like you know those steering stabilizers on Jeep? It's basically just a gas shock.
Yeah.
Somehow rig one into the steering, because there's so much like back and forth, and like when you're up on the throttle and you let go, that torque steer you basically get, you know, like in a front wheel drive car.
Trying to like throw you back.
Yeah. Yeah. And especially with that metal bar coming past your body, like that thing could throw you off the boat.
And you're trying to twist the bar, right?
No, it's a little lever.
I didn't know if it was like throttle, like twist.
Dude, everything's like custom on it. It's pretty cool. Like every little detail I mean, they put a lot of time into it.
Yeah, some gas shocks would be nice. They're putting them on electric scooters now, those gas
shocks?
The stabilizers.
No way.
The steerings, because they get so sketchy at high speed.
They do.
Like the Jeeps have it, like a motorcycle, like dirt bikes have it too. So something just simple like that they probably never even thought to put on there.
Yeah.
You blow through the side of the hull though. I don't know how thick or strong that hull is.
It's teak.
It's probably pretty stout.
It's a wooden boat.
Yeah. Nice, crisp wooden boat.
Yeah. So now we're in the process of getting it home.
Yeah, that'll be the fun part, right?
Engine's off of it, and no, it sucks.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
Yeah, that's what I was imagining. By fun, I meant not fun at all.
The whole process is brutal. Like, me talking to this broker, shout out to my cousin Madeline. She's helping me out on this. She works for a logistics company, and she's, you know, they send an email to their team in Bangkok, you know, but by then it's Saturday there. So now I'm not going to hear anything till Monday morning. Then they're going to email me. You know, it's just like it's been going on for weeks.
Yeah, there's language barriers. And
then like we need his tax ID. He's like, I don't have a tax ID. You know, like it's coming from, you know, it's just all this stuff.
Can you just consider it like wall art? Like, oh, I'm just hanging it on my wall.
Right. I mean, I thought like furniture.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just decoration. It has to have a specific
code to come through, like a import code. And I think the way it's going to be classified, because it's basically a large wooden canoe is how it's classified.
Yeah, I just didn't know if they could classify it as something a little less. Like, because it has to come in through California, I'd imagine.
No, it's going to go to Tampa.
Oh, so they're going to
go through Panama.
Yeah, I was going to say either Panama or they go all south, but
yeah.
Because that's what we were talking, me and Spencer were like, man, like the shipping route's not exactly
ideal.
Straight to
I'd rather stay on a boat all the way to Tampa instead of getting offloaded in California, getting on a train all the way to here, you know.
Especially getting offloaded in like LA would not be ideal for a boat like that.
No,
for anything really.
Then if it's in Tampa, we can go up and get it, you know.
Yeah, Tampa's got a good port for that.
They do.
I spent a lot of time around that port.
Did you?
I mean, it was always right there. Like, it was Tampa port where like you would go like street racing right by the port, basically. Mm-hmm. And it's a fun spot. It's right next to the IKEA. I like it up there.
We'll get it home and then we'll get the engine figured out.
Yeah, because you left the engine there. Like,
engine's got to stay.
Engine's going to stay. Do you take parts from the engine? Like, do you get like the dress-up kit? Do you get anything from it?
They did a lot of fun green anodizing and stuff on parts, and a lot of it's custom. So, you know, everything that's legal is coming over. You know, so like
fuel rails, probably
fuel
not.
rail.
Yes, no, maybe.
I don't think so. I think it's going to be like a lot of the fittings and, you know, like pulleys and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Stuff that I can't get here and then modify another engine with. So
yeah, so you're gonna try to get the same 4UZ or whatever 4JJ.
Yeah,
and is it an Isuzu motor?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So it's like the Duramax uses Isuzu motors. Yeah, they're pretty much
the 4JJ can be found in like box trucks and stuff here in the States. Mm-hmm. And there's actually some for sale in Tampa, but they're expensive. Like just a long block is like $7,000. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and it has to stay diesel.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's got it. That's kind of the key to it.
Yeah,
even though it could be pretty sick with like an LS3 aluminum block.
It would be so heavy, having a big V8 on the back.
I think you'd be surprised.
Really?
I don't know, an aluminum NALS versus like a turbo diesel.
I have an idea.
Iron block. I'd be curious the weight on that engine.
You know, it'd be cool is to take, and nobody steal this idea, but once I get my boat back, I want to model. You know, and I want to take two John boats and like make a John boat, tie a river boat out of it.
Yeah.
Like aluminum, and then put like a V8 on it. Like an
that
LS.
Would be sick.
Yeah.
Dude, I know like
the American longtail river
I'm
boat.
sure when you show up with it, you know, like people are like JH or Garrett are going to want to try to do something similar.
Garrett's already been like, dude, let me get one of those. Like, let's put another one in the container.
I was actually going to say, like, if Garrett was in your same situation, his timeline would have been 5 days.
Yeah.
From start to finish. Like, hey, I need this in 5 days. I'm going to be there.
Right.
Because his timelines are always insane.
Dude, they are. He puts a lot of pressure on people.
Oh, yeah, always. I love watching it. Like, you could see the pressure. And I've seen
people show up with it, and they're just completely sleep deprived and look like crap and haven't eaten nothing but gas station
still
food for 3
sanding
days.
it.
Yeah.
You send Zach over early.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are cool boats, though. I mean, it's like such a weird thing. And I feel like Thailand has all kinds of weird motorsports. Like everything over there is a different style of motorsports. Like they have like the big diesel like racing that they do over there, which is, you know, we kind of do it, but not like they do.
I wish I would have dove into it more. I just didn't have time. You know, I was there for like a week, but Kyle of 1320, he was there like the week after me and dove into it pretty good.
And he went everywhere, it seemed like. He went all over.
He was living it up.
Yeah, he definitely was.
He got in touch with Chad, and they had a good time.
Yeah, CB Media, because I know people are going to comment him down below. We have the same initials, me and him, dude. People think that my logo was his. I'm like,
the amount of CB Media comments I've gotten.
I like his videos. I've watched a bunch of them. He does a really good job at covering a different country.
He does, yeah.
For us to see, because like, I'm sure there's people that cover like Japanese car culture well, but they do it in Japanese. So I
actually tried to buy the Titanic from him.
Isn't that thing rotary?
Well, you can watch his video on it, but his project failed.
Yeah.
And then he got really discouraged from it and just didn't want to have anything to do with the boats.
That is how most projects actually go. A lot of projects end up failing and getting discouraged.
I don't think he's really a boat guy. He was just kind of diving into it. And then, you know, he does awesome with the car stuff. And so then he tried to do something they had never done, you know, big rotary on the Thai boat.
Well, he has a great business plan as well, filming other people's things.
Exactly.
That is a way smarter business route than actually building your own things.
Yeah.
Because it is a very pricey endeavor. Like you were saying, you have no chance of making your money back.
Yeah, I mean, look at your overhead.
I know, it's this room, and I get to just talk about what other people do that are cool. I don't actually have to do anything cool.
Yeah, dude, you're chilling.
I just get to hear from.
If this room doesn't change for the next 3 years, you know he's doing all right.
You guys know I haven't spent any more money. That is the goal, to spend no money doing this and actually spend money building the cars, because, you know, you had Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
Our cars were pretty similar in like how they sat, parts in them and stuff. Your car was probably honestly more expensive than my Camaro, the way that it sat.
Oh yeah.
And you know how it is to try to recoup the money from that in YouTube videos is crazy. No. And one engine failure, one new turbo, one new thing, like you get so screwed by that kind of little stuff.
Yeah, you do.
And then once you don't have it, you can't make the content anymore. So then you're screwed even more.
Yeah.
So it's tough.
Yeah, but every dollar I spent on that car, I spent like 130 grand on that car, you know?
Yeah.
So, but every single dollar I spent was well worth the memories it made, the people I met, the videos, the content, the everything. Mm-hmm. Like, I will remember that for the rest of my life. Worth every penny.
I always just think about the time George was making fun of you for your bearings all going out in Rocky Mountain Racing. That video, I feel like that clip is burned into my brain of like, because I was like, man, if I was Parker, I would want to kick him in the face right there, because I see you crawl out from under your car and they're all just making fun of it for being blown up.
Yeah.
I was like, poor guy.
They're like looking at my oil, that talking about chocolate milk, and oh god.
And then see ya, because that's how it kind of works on Rocky Mountain Race Week and Sick Week.
Go.
Like, you can't wait around for someone. You're not like, you got to get to the next spot.
Right.
So it's a sad reality of Dragon Drives.
It was.
But that car was a good car. When you got it, it was really rough.
Yeah, but I didn't know any better.
Yeah, of course. And it was a good car for you to
learn.
It was actually, I tell people this all the time, you have to start with something that runs and drives, or you're never going to be encouraged to get it back.
For sure.
If you started with a roller, that thing may have never really been anything.
Any value to.
But because you already started with a car that ran and drove.
You can't, and it being a roller.
Yeah, now you have more fun and you actually enjoyed it once.
For sure.
So you have motivation. If you never enjoy anything at any point, like even with your boat, like if you just had it sent over here as just a hull and you had to like put the motor on and stuff on it, it would probably sit as a project for a good bit longer. Right. But you already know what it's like to drive it.
Yeah.
So it's probably more motivating.
Yeah.
but that's still going to be a lot. I'm curious to see when that thing comes over how much it is to get the motor and everything situated on it. I want to see it too because I can't understand the pivot point of the engine, like how it all pivots on like what does it all pivot on?
On one,
so it's like
basically just like one post like this on the very bottom, and then imagine like a U-shaped bracket on top of it.
Okay, so like the motor's just bolted.
So
to
this
the bottom.
U-shaped bracket can rotate 360 degrees like this, right?
Yeah,
And then the motor sits like this, which can pivot on that U bracket like this. Does that make sense?
so the motor can go up and down, and then it can also go side to side on two different. It's almost like a
No, it just pivots off of one point,
yeah.
like this, and it can rotate on that one point.
Yeah, it's kind of like a drive shaft where it has like a U-bolt almost, like a
There's
U-joint.
no U-joint. There's no U-joint. It's literally engine, transmission to drive shaft. Straight.
Yeah, I just meant like
Rigid.
on the bottom, like what how the engine moves.
Oh,
Like back
yeah,
end,
but
like-
the U-joint's this, the
Yeah.
U-bracket's this big. It goes up against the motor on both sides,
Yeah, because it has to go to like factory motor.
And it's
mounts.
it's like 1/2 inch steel. I mean, or like 3/8. It's thick.
Are the welds nice on that thing?
They are.
They are.
Yeah,
I
they
was
are.
wondering like what kind of weld. I guess you went to a good engine builder. It's not like
Mm-hmm.
I imagine like backwood style stuff, but they
Oh, it
probably
is.
have really nice
It's super backwoods.
stuff as well.
Yeah, they do it every day.
Yeah, that's kind of their normal thing.
Definitely better welders than you and I.
For sure. It's not, but that's not saying that much though. I'm a pretty shit welder.
Yeah, me too.
I can grind and paint something. Like I can stick two things together,
Right.
not aluminum,
Yeah.
but
Our
stainless steel.
expectations versus reality, there's a very big separation when it comes to welding.
yeah, that's why I also get discouraged building cars because there's so many things that I have to outsource that suck.
Yeah, it does.
Outsourcing, like if you have to outsource any turbo build or any like cage work, your car is hung up for like 3 months,
Yes, it is.
which is always sad.
It is.
It's easy to get discouraged. Me and Spencer talked about that a little bit, where like, because he wants to get into something and he's bought 2 or 3 project cars at this point that he's wanted to do something with. But again, it's like that same deal. Like, if you buy a car that has nothing in it, it's a year or 2 years before it's going down the track,
Yeah.
most likely,
Oh, yeah.
which is painful.
It is.
Do you have any other boats here? Or is this going to be your only real boat?
This is going to be my only real boat for like screwing around with, filming with.
Does the HOA, like, will you be able to park that in your driveway?
I'm definitely going to. No doubt about
It's
it.
going to be hanging into the road.
Absolutely.
What kind of trailer is that thing going to have?
Custom.
Is it just going to be like some flat, like,
No, we'll figure it out when it gets here. That's
because
like
it has no V to it, right? It's full
it's
flat.
No, it's a stepped flat hole, so it's stepped. So the front, the bottom, or the front bottom of the hole is actually lower than the back.
Can you shorten that rod off the back for if you're in like,
No, because it's actually a perfect length, so that where the weight comes together from behind the boat, it's in an optimal place to catch the most amount of water.
interesting, yeah.
Yeah,
So, they
so if
have
it's
to,
too short, you can't rip it.
I was going to say, because like these like small, like they're pretty small, like canalways here. That might
It's
be a
gonna be
little
tough.
hard to
It's gonna be
maneuver
tough.
that thing.
Yeah, intercoastal will be a prime spot for that boat.
That's kind of scary too, though. That
Oh,
thing
dude.
wide open with like a little bit of chop.
I'm not worried about that. I'm just worried about wake from other boats.
Yeah, like a little bit of chop though. I mean, that thing's
Sketch.
gonna be,
There's no V to it, so it's not going to take waves very well.
yeah. Might need some like training wheels, some kind of.
I need a V hole.
Yeah, so you could probably put something on there. It'd be cool to like. I guess somebody could make something fiberglass too. That'd be really badass.
Yeah, it would be.
Like some kind of like slight V, and then you just like put your whole motor combo on
You
it.
could take a jet boat and make it a long tail.
Yeah, or like some kind of like old Boston whaler.
Yeah,
But
there you
like
go.
put like your same deal on there. Just build like a redneck tie boat. It's crazy that they use like
Ford tie boat.
yeah, it's cool that they do like start to finish like that though, like custom, because how many custom bolt builders like that even exist in the US where you can just like get a
None.
like of course there's like, you know, what is it, like Buddy Wallace or something like that. You can get like a custom boat, but it's not like a nice not like a cheap like hull like that.
Luckily, I have resources to help me like fix this thing or repair it if need be.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I'm
It'll be
excited
a good
to see
adventure.
this.
I'm excited to document it. I'm excited for it to get here and to make a video about the process, you know, and like unboxing it and everything and seeing, you know, I'm sure it's going to be broken or whatever, you know, getting it fixed. So
something usually, because you're not there to put it in there, so you have to hope that they put it in well.
yeah, the number one thing I want to do with it is there's these boys in Texas called the Texas Mud Boats. And they've got like meetups every couple months, and I want to go. That they called me and they're like, "Dude, how did you get this thing?"
What is a Texas mud boat?
They're like, it's a John boat that has a different type of drive system on it. Imagine it's like an Americanized longtail,
Okay.
but there's no long. It's not long. It's a short tail. It's like it's an outboard motor that has a very weird like different drive system on it, so they can go through the mud basically. And so they race them, and they're like really starting to like build some traction, you know, with their videos and stuff. And like, I want to go to that meetup because they've got like show these videos with them all in the woods, and they're like partying and racing. And I'm
Really?
like, oh, this boat's gonna be perfect for
This
that.
is why I need somebody to pull things up so we can see.
Oh, I know, yeah. Hey,
Eventually.
Jamie.
I know. Eventually, I'll have somebody pull things up. But dang, I want to see that now because that sounds.
Mini Cooper could.
Yeah, exactly. He'll be eventually here doing that. I'll just sit him in the chair or something.
Am I the first one on since you had the baby?
No, I had one on already. I know. You were close. But
What was that experience like?
I just ditched Bronte.
Bronte did her thing.
Yeah, I'm a little sleep deprived, but she's fine.
Yeah, I was sleeping in those hospital chairs.
It's horrible. It's just like this shitty little fold out, like, it's honestly worse than like an airplane seat.
Yeah, it's got to be tough. Long days.
Yeah, it's long, but they also come in like, 3, 4, 5 a.m. and they're like, all right, we're here to check on you. I'm like, checking on me? Why'd you wake me up then?
Yeah, that sucks.
They're just checking on the baby.
Yeah,
You have to wake me up.
You got him home now. 10 fingers, 10 toes.
Yeah, he's got all that.
That's good.
He's got a full head of hair, kind of mullet, little in the back.
Nice.
So he's doing pretty well for himself. Bunch of back hair, ear hair. Like, they got like hair on their ears.
Really?
It's so weird.
Huh.
Babies are weird, man.
Yeah, they are.
They just
Little
piss
creatures.
all over the place, too. Like, you go to change his diaper, and, like, he pissed 3 feet up a wall.
What?
Yeah, like, you...
I want to do that.
It's impressive. Like, how are you peeing right now? I'm changing your diaper, and you're
I still
peeing
pee
up
on
a
walls
wall.
sometimes.
It's impressive. He's good at it, It's boys, I guess,
Right.
He's the first boy in my generation of the family, I guess.
Bogetti name lives on.
First grandchild for my parents. So you know how the
they're
first grandchild is.
Oh, dude.
All of a sudden, it's like, wait, you guys didn't like us that much.
Yeah.
Why do you like him so much?
Right. Well, at least the Bogetti name lives on, right?
Exactly.
Heck yeah.
Exactly. It's not a common one either. Like,
I know.
there's not that many Bogettis in this world.
No, there's not.
I've looked them up. There's not that many. Yeah, because you guys have now one grandchild in your family, almost two on your parents. So
Yeah.
you got to see your parents be grandparents, which you realize.
Now the pressure's on for Caroline and I.
Garrett seems to keep popping them out, dude. You could just borrow one.
I know. I'm chilling, dude.
They got a freaking factory going.
I'm in no rush. I'm just having fun.
Yeah, you're just going to Thailand.
Yeah. Exactly.
So what's next for the aviation? You were just at what was it, out in like Arizona or something for
Yeah,
that?
dude. So since you and I talked last, I finished up my helicopter license. So I have a rotorcraft private pilot's license. And then I went for my airplane. So now I have my airplane single engine land. And now I'm going for my instrument license. So basically you can fly in the clouds.
Yeah. Where if things turn off,
Yeah,
no
or things
instruments.
turn off or then
You've had that already, haven't you?
Yeah, dude, crazy story. I went to go ferry this plane from Virginia back to Florida, which you guys will see more of this plane coming up on my channel. It's going through some work now, after a little situation we had. We were flying, old guy owned it, he bought a brand new one owner plane in 1986. And if you kept your same car for 30 years, 40 years, the modifications that you're going to make to it as you get older probably won't be very tasteful. Okay.
Yeah.
You probably shouldn't have hot glued that window shut.
Yeah.
That
That sounds fair, yeah. And when you're at that point, only you know all the jankiness of it.
100%.
So it's fine for you, but you can't just hand somebody the keys and be like, yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, but he had every receipt from everything he'd ever done to it too. So it's just cool, So he When you look at the flight history of it,
So it's a fixed wing.
Yeah, it's an airplane, single engine, piston airplane.
Okay.
Twin turbo.
Oh, shit. God damn.
He was only making like hour and a half flights on it. Hour and a half flight, like to, just small back and forth
Just
stuff.
running drugs. As you
He's
do.
like 86 years old, dude.
Yeah, that's the perfect time to do that.
Now or never.
Yeah.
Go make that buck.
This is a perfect
Social
time to get
Security
into
doesn't
that,
pay
man.
shit.
Yeah, exactly.
So we like take off from Virginia through the clouds, and we're at like 14,000 feet. And then this is like 2 hours into the flight, right? So I would imagine the guy never really flew it more than 2 hours.
Is it you and Caroline?
No, it was me and another pilot.
Okay.
Like a recreational pilot, not like not a guy that had been flying it for United for 20 years.
Okay. I was gonna say like that would be a lot scarier if it was just like you and.
It would have definitely been
your wife.
scarier if it was me, but I kind of made the game. Kind of made the decisions.
Okay.
He was technically PIC or pilot in command. I know I was second, but I kind of made the right decisions for us. We're at 14,000 feet above the clouds, right? And the clouds are super low. They're like 3,000 feet, and then they're only like 500 feet off the ground. So if you have to go land, you got to go through the clouds, and when you pop out of those clouds, you're only like 500 feet off the ground. Yeah, sketch, right?
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden, I'm like getting to know the aircraft. I'm pushing buttons, and like I push the button that says "press to test," which is the button to test your annunciator panel lights. Like all your warning lights to make sure that they all light up. And I push it, and all of a sudden everything goes. Doof. Everything shuts off. And the way airplanes work is they all have different systems. So even though all the electronics shut off, the engine's going to stay running, It'd be like if you're driving your CTSV across Alligator Alley and your speedometer, everything shuts off, but the car's still driving. Mm-hmm. Like, what are you going to do? You're going to pull over or are you going to keep driving?
Yeah. I mean, that happened to me on sick week in my Mustang. All the electronics turned off, but the engine was still running. It was middle of the night.
Keep chugging along, right?
No headlights, no taillights.
That sucks.
Frick.
So we're like, he's like, holy shit, we got to land, And I'm like, nah, dude, we're legal. Like, we could turn it back on and get 30 seconds of avionics again. But we couldn't talk to each other.
So you'd only get 30 seconds if you turned it back on?
Yeah, and then it shut off again.
Okay.
But when you're up there, you get GPS fix on your phone. So we have our pilot apps on our phone. We could open up our phone. We could see exactly where we're at on a map and see all the data we needed. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, dude, we're above the clouds. Let's just keep chugging along to Florida. And so that's what we did all the way back.
Frick, that's scary.
It was.
That was probably a high stress situation. Was it nighttime too?
It was daytime going into night. When we got back to Sarasota, it was dark out.
Wow. And you could contact Sarasota with your phone and stuff, so you didn't just like land.
Yeah, we stayed out of the airspaces, and then we ended up what we ended up figuring out is that something was overheating. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, hey, let's leave it off for 2 hours, and then 30 minutes out, we'll flip it on. We'll use our little bit of time we have to contact tower and let them know what's going on. Mm-hmm. And so that's what we did. We stayed out all the airspaces, and then we flipped it on. We're like, Sarasota Tower, this is blah, 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 blah. We have an issue. Can we get a cell phone number from you guys? Or a phone number from you guys?
Yeah.
And so we ended up getting the phone number, and then we were able to land fine.
And when you land like that, like, hey, we have an issue, like, do they contact FAA or anything?
We did not
like
declare
that?
an emergency because technically we didn't have to.
Yeah, because I guess if you say I declare an emergency,
you have to declare an emergency.
Yeah. Okay. But, so you could have said that to them, and then that triggers an investigation.
If we would have declared an emergency at the time or during the flight, they would have kept a really close eye on us in a good way. Mm-hmm. And in hindsight, we probably should have, but it all ended up panning out just fine. It was one of those situations like don't declare an emergency unless you have to. Mm-hmm.
Is there any you probably could have called somebody if in a different situation if you knew more people with a flight to come and tail you or whatever you tail them
we didn't have any way to communicate.
Like if somebody you knew though with a cell phone you could have called them and been like, hey, can you come lead us in? No, not even.
No,
couldn't go follow a carbon cub.
If we weren't able to get a hold of Sarasota, we were going to go to Venice, and Venice doesn't have a towered airport. It's all like just guys talking to each other and other planes, and it's pretty quiet. So we could have gone individually to or Venice and been fine.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't know if there was like some case scenario where like could you even do that? Like if somebody was like, hey, I know you're flying blind right now, and you did contact them with the cell phone. They could kind of come help you, like follow me a little bit type of thing.
I guess you could, but
or does that even not make sense?
I guess you could, but it wouldn't really make sense.
Yeah, I guess because you weren't that blind, or like you could still see structures.
Yeah,
but would it also affect like the day, like how cloudy it was, how visible the day was? Like if you're in a shitty day, because some days you go out there and there's not a cloud in the sky. Mm-hmm. Some days, like, was that part of it too? Was it like a significantly cloudy day?
We knew that where we were at the time of failure, that we had about an hour until we would be able to see ground again.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So once after that like high stress hour, then we were kind of like, all right, if we had to, we could land on that interstate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, landing on an interstate is crazy. That happens pretty frequently, though.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not that uncommon in small aviation.
I don't want to say I want to do it, but at some point, if there's like a national emergency and I'm allowed to land on an interstate, I would love to.
A national emergency?
A state of emergency.
Oh, I was like, man, what are we talking about
like, Gary got to do that. He got to go land all over the roads.
Oh yeah, when the hurricane hit, because he talked about that. He talked about how he was rescuing people during that.
Yeah, he got an award for that.
Did he?
Yes, dude.
He said he didn't find anyone.
I know.
Man, that's tough. I feel like it's also like, should you just get an award if you actually find anyone, or is the act of helping enough? The act of helping is probably enough.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because you did it.
That counts. He got a participation
He
trophy.
spent a lot of money, I'm sure.
He did. He did spend a lot of money. So he got a participation trophy.
Sure, it was very costly. Somebody has to come and like pin it on.
It's kind of like when your kids play baseball, right? You're like, that's a participation trophy. It costs a lot of money.
Dude, I think back and I had like a ton of those up on my wall.
Did you?
Like when I was a kid, like they used to give us out like soccer, baseball, little league, like everything. They would give us like these little shitty trophies.
Yeah.
And the other day, Bronte had a couple of hers, and I was like, Bronte, I'm throwing these out. Like, what are you talking about saving these for? No, not at all. They're like $8 for like 50 of them.
Yeah.
Just for the trophies.
Right.
Yeah.
Can we pause here?
Yeah.
I gotta puke.
So is aviation more expensive than 7-second drag and drive cars?
It's the same.
Is it the same?
Yeah.
It's about the same cost?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm curious because like those seem like they would be comparable hobbies.
Yeah.
I'd be curious what's like better for video long term as well.
I think it just depends where your passion lies, and that's kind of like my thing with social media is I don't do it for a living. I do it because I enjoy it. Mm-hmm. You know, I love making videos. I love documenting the process, and so I can't really put a monetary value on it.
Yeah, I feel like you use YouTube as like another social media platform, like how so many people just have like Instagram.
Yeah, exactly.
But I tell all of my friends this when they don't have YouTubes. I'm like, you would not have like a social media for your business or like for what you're doing. Like, start a YouTube channel. I was just talking to my buddy, a good friend of mine, Leo. I was like, dude, you should have a YouTube channel, man. You know?
Yeah.
You know Leo. He's a good dude.
He is a good dude.
I was just on the phone with him the other day.
Never forget. Great guy.
We'll leave that one alone.
Guy. Team Leo.
It's my boy, dude. Talk to Leo all the time. Check out on him every now and then because I know what it's like. But
yeah, dude, that's a crazy deal.
It is a crazy deal. I don't want to.
No, we got to talk about it.
I don't want to overstep too much. It sucks.
It does suck. Side by side blog.
Leo is no longer part of Side by Side blog. I think most people know that.
Yeah, Leo is like he's one of the OG members. He was behind the camera a lot.
Yeah, he's been documenting stuff forever. Like he's like one of those guys where like anything's happening, he's the guy filming it, where everybody's kind of doing stuff.
Yeah.
And he's just always been like that, so it was more like a natural
He
system.
did the editor. He was the editor, and then did all like the business side of stuff.
He's like Kyle Loftus in a lot of ways.
Yeah, exactly.
Where like, you know, Kyle was going to film street racing just because he wanted, like, he loved cameras and filming stuff.
Exactly.
That was exactly how I saw Leo.
Yeah, and then a long story short, from what I understand, is the other two OG members, and I know I love those guys too, and I'm sure there's there's definitely 3 stories going on here. There's Leo's side, there's the other guy's side, and then there's the truth.
Yep.
And from what I know, I'm not going to share, but I know that a lot of fans are upset about Leo's loss.
There's very few businesses in general that really survive when it's like multi-people or like friendship involved. Like those businesses usually don't last. Even like with family, like that kind of stuff, it doesn't pan out. Does not really last.
Get a lot of cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah, there's always going to be some stuff, especially as things get more successful.
Yeah.
It's never going to work out.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, granted, not never going to work out, but pretty rarely do those kind of things. So I hope Leo, starts his own channel because I know he's passionate, like you were just talking, with filming and like actually documenting things.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Versus just like there are some people that just want to do things.
Yeah.
And then we all know those people that do a lot of cool shit, but they don't film or post any of it.
I know.
And then there's some people that just want to film and post stuff. Right. And you've seemed like you've done a freaking awesome job this last 2 weeks of posting stuff.
There's a reason.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Trying to make that boat pay off.
Oh, my God. Well, no. I got back from MD helicopter training. And that day I got home, my wife was gone, and I sat on the couch and played Fortnite for 14 hours.
Wow.
Right?
That's all.
It was a great day. I was a kid. But I got up the next morning, and I was like, I am so much better than this, And there's a program called Hard 75, which is 75 days straight, 2 45-minute workouts a day. One of them has to be outside. Gallon of water a day, a diet, 10 pages of non-fictional book, and take a picture.
Was that started by the dude Andy Fisilo?
I think so,
yeah, I think so.
And I failed at it twice before. And I was like, all right, I've been waiting for a moment to start 75 hard again when I knew I wasn't going to be traveling a lot, which is January, February. And I was like, all right, I'm running it. And then I thought to myself, I'm going to make a YouTube video every single day. I'm going to like really complicate. I'm going to really push myself.
Yeah, because that's a lot.
Yeah.
That is a tough freaking deal. 75 is a lot of videos to make every day.
Yeah, but dude,
if you add shorts into it, it helps. Like if you can make a short.
I thought about that, but then
or is it just long form?
I think I have to go for the full video every day. And when I was with Roman at MD, he's like, dude, I did daily vlogs for 9 years.
Yeah, that's wild.
I'm like, I can do that. He can do it for 9 years. I can do it for 75 days. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but you also have a day job.
I have a day job, but I'm going to make it part of that too.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, yeah, you can.
The channel is teeth and turbos.
That is
not
true.
Just turbos.
You haven't shown that many teeth.
No.
You've shown a lot more turbos. But now you're a little less turbos.
Yeah, a little less for now until the boat gets
here. Until the boat gets here, and the plane, I guess. It is twin turbo.
Yeah, exactly.
But 75 videos is a lot. But I guess if you can lay out what you want to do for at least 30% of them, then the rest can kind of fall into place. And if you do some daily vlog type of stuff, that helps a lot.
That's what I'm doing.
But man, it's tough.
Yeah, I'm not going for the full-blow Cletus McFarlane, like, thumbnail, catch your eye video every single time, but
buying something new in every video.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, social media is a hobby for me. So I'm going to post what I want that day. It's probably going to be me sitting, some of them are going to be me sitting in a studio at my house talking to the camera.
Yeah.
About whatever.
Just any kind of content to put out there, because I think you'd be surprised how much better your channel will end up doing after 75 videos per day. I mean, I already saw it was cranking.
It's been cranking.
Yeah, like they're doing really well. And like you were saying, there's some videos where you're just sitting there.
Yeah.
And they're not like action.
I did have a weird slump last week, though. Like, my channel ranges anywhere from...
December's the worst month as well.
Really? I thought it'd be the best.
No, everybody says December's the worst month.
Really? Mm-hmm. Interesting.
It's good for ad rates in the beginning of December.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's bad for viewership.
Okay, because that makes sense. When I started this journey, because my channel, my video gets like 20 to 60,000 views on a video.
Very healthy.
And over the holidays, like the day before Christmas Eve, Christmas, my videos tanked like 4,000 or 5,000 views per video. And I called Garrett and I was like, dude, what is going on? Like, what do you think I should do? you know, and he's like, come on the shop and we'll help you guys, you know, get you going again. I was like, do you think I should give up on this daily video thing? He's like, no, you said you're going to do it. You know, you got this.
Yeah.
So, but I was going to go to like not saturate it as much, but now I'm kind of back on the
I like the 75 challenge. That's kind of fun. I would love to try something similar, but I can cheat a little bit because.
Why don't you do 75 shorts of, like, do 30 days of shorts?
Yeah, I was thinking
podcast.
something like that. I cut up the podcast into like 10-minute videos a lot of the time, and that does well.
Yeah.
And those can.
You have a second channel for that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bogetti Clips. It's got like 8,000 subscribers, and it's gotten like, I think like 1.5 million views since I started it. Like
Dude,
some videos
sick.
have done well because you can cut a little segment out, clickbait that a little bit, but not
What's
clickbait,
like your total
like,
views
make it
for
interesting.
every platform since you started this or this year?
This channel has like almost 4 million views, so that's pretty good in the first year.
Even with Spotify and iTunes, and
it's a whole other thing. That's like Spotify is the worst platform ever.
really,
It's horrible.
Really?
They have
That's
no
like all I
algorithm.
use.
They have no algorithm to show you podcasts you might like. Their back end stuff is like next to nothing. Like it's just so bad.
so people just gotta search you on Spotify if they want to find it, kind of thing.
They have to, yeah. But that's the only way they'll find it. But then I'm convinced that if Joe Rogan leaves Spotify in this next year, Spotify's podcasting network's just going to completely crumble because YouTube is so much better for.
Do you put the video on Spotify as well?
No.
Okay,
Only select people get to do that.
got it.
Joe Rogan and Caller Daddy, I think, are pretty much the people that get to do it. But I don't know. The shorts do really well. But again, like short views, I always say are fake.
Really?
Kind of like, because people, you know, like TikTok views are like fake.
Oh,
Like,
dude,
they're like,
for sure.
They're like scroll past. They're like, nobody even understood it. You can have like,
I think, dude, I had a weird thing happen on TikTok.
yeah, was it
Yeah.
people sending you nudes?
No, no, like I haven't told anybody about this channel that I started.
Wow.
I've kind of been waiting for it to self-discover.
Yeah.
And it's kind of on hold till I'm done with Hard 75 because I'm not even going to tell you, but
You did an experiment.
I would post I'm doing an experiment and it'll be really funny when it does get found.
Okay,
I'm not going to tell you guys. You're going to see it one day and you'll be like, I know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
But I can't do it because of this diet thing I'm on. But it's pretty fun. But I would
Okay.
post a video and it would like instantly get like 600 views.
Yeah.
Yeah, on TikTok. And I think it's just to like hype you up to keep you coming back.
Well, I think that's also their tester. So they put it in front of like this many people. How interested were they? And then if like 20% of those people were more interested in it, then they feed it to more people like that.
Yeah.
And they kind of just test, like they just like poke at the algorithm to see where your video fits in. And if it doesn't, it gets like 600 views.
Yeah.
Because I've done some testing too with the podcast clips. But even I've seen people with like 50 million views on like a YouTube short. And I'm like, is that real? Or is that just like 1 second and you scrolled past it?
Oh, I see.
Like, is that even like did people even consume that content?
I think you have to look at the impressions, right? Isn't it an impression when they watch it for more than 3 seconds?
I think so, but even 3 seconds. Did anybody even consume content in 3 seconds?
True.
That's tough.
It is.
Like, that's like Vine stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, can you even, like, do people even know the popular TikTokers for the most part?
Yeah.
Or is it just like they have millions of views and they're just like these scroll past type of things? It's so weird. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a boomer talking about shorts.
I think you should roll with it. They don't pay anything, but like next to nothing. But
I get frustrated when Bronte's like, don't film that way. I'm like, Bronte,
what, vertical?
she wants me to film vertical.
Oh
I
yeah.
hate filming vertical.
Oh really?
No, it's like you gotta film horizontal when you're filming
You're
something.
a boomer.
I know, I am. Like our birth, she's like, you gotta film it vertical.
She's looking at you between her legs, and you're
I know, dude. I got some
Hold it.
photos like when
you're gonna
like,
be the guy at the camcorder. Like your dad's gonna be your little Coop's gonna be watching you like record the
dad cam.
with it. He's like, why are you holding your phone sideways, Dad?
Yeah, the dad cam and like
The big camcorder. That's you holding your phone sideways.
You should have your grandpa on for something.
Yeah.
I feel like people should hear his story a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know how interested he would be to talk about it.
Yeah, I get. I took him flying not too long ago.
Like you should do like a podcast style video with him.
Think
Like
so.
you two. because I feel like his story needs to be documented, even because like,
dude, he's got the best stories.
and he's an older guy. Like, I don't know, like that stuff. Like,
people were eating it up when he was on Garrett's video.
well, I didn't see what I've met him a couple times. I've been lucky enough to talk to him a couple times, and
Yeah,
just his story's cool.
it is. Yeah,
He's one of the few people that have flown those planes, right? What was it? The B-2? No, not the B-2.
I shouldn't say. We'll get into the specifics of it, but he was a general in the Air Force, and he flew a lot of great planes and did a lot of really neat stuff.
I thought that stuff was more in the public knowledge.
Yeah. So he did a lot of like reconnaissance stuff, and he's very happy about it. He did a lot of really cool stuff.
Crazy you can't say that kind of stuff still, even though he's like, what?
He's
been out of the Air Force so long.
He picks and chooses who he tells people what he did, and so
he's never told me anything. I've just heard stuff from that he's flown cool things.
He's flown a lot of cool stuff. He's done a lot of cool things with his career.
See, you should document it now, and even if you don't put it out, just so you have it like documented. Because I've talked about doing that with this, where use.
You want me to tell you my deepest, darkest secrets, and you'll put it out later? Is that what you're saying?
I'll put it out later. No, I've like, I wanted to have like my grandparents on and have their stuff and even not put it out, just have a long form of them talking.
Yeah.
Because I would love to have my grandpa, who's no longer with us, do like a 2-hour conversation that I could listen back to, because he did like cool stuff too. He was like, NYPD. He worked at General Motors, and then he spent the rest of his life hating General Motors.
Right.
It was great. They sold him one lemon, and he would never buy a GM car again.
Really?
Just because one Blazer that failed a couple times, and he was like scorched.
That's how I feel about BMW and Mercedes. So.
Yeah, I mean BMW is pretty bad. They just sound so bad with that crackle tune.
You tell me you don't want an 07 330?
That brings back a memory of me and Garrett going to visit Cheyenne, and he rented this M3 on Turo.
Yeah.
And like, if it wasn't in sport mode, the clutches were just like slipping and like clapped out. That did not stop Garrett from being
Dude, Garrett's a savage with rental cars.
This was a Turo. So
He's still a savage.
I
think it's gotten worse.
Well, he wasn't allowed to rent a lot of things for a long time.
Yeah.
U-Haul stuff.
He is fearless in a rental car.
Yeah. I've seen like air time with rental cars.
Definitely air time.
Yeah. What type of top speed do you think that Thai riverboat will get? I never even
They
asked
say it'll
that.
do 90.
Yeah, 90. Mm-hmm. Does it have like a tack or gauges of any kind?
No,
so,
no
like,
gauges.
If it's overheating, you're just like, I don't even know.
It's smoking. Okay. That's your gauge. I would like to put. We're gonna have. There's a company that makes ECUs and stuff, and so we're gonna get it. I'm gonna get this thing freaking dialed.
Yeah.
I want to get a screen.
It'd be nice to know what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes I like to know like my water temp or like fuel pressure, maybe.
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
Wyatt got me in touch with the people he uses, and they're like super stoked about helping me out and getting a good harness built, because right now the ECU sits in a box and just rolls around. And
diesel ECUs are expensive.
Yeah.
Like they use like Bosch stuff a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Dude, wait till you price out some Bosch ECUs. They're proud of those things.
Are they?
Yeah.
Brutal.
It's crazy how proud of those things they are.
Keep putting it on the bill, dude.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't make any sense.
Slap it on there.
So you said you were going flying after this? You're going to go do some...
Yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah. This comes out after your video anyways, so...
Going cubbing around.
Yeah, that thing's awesome.
It's so cool. Yeah, he's done a good job with it.
I flew with Garrett a little bit, and almost 5 minutes into the flight, he was like, "You're a plane." I was like, "What?" I don't even know that. Like,
it's totally different aircraft to fly. Like the fact that he won that stall competition, that thing's sporty. Mm-hmm. Like you can drive a car, and you get in a different car and you can drive it. It's not the same with airplanes. They all handle completely different. And that thing's like, if you can fly a tail wheel, you can fly anything.
Once we were in the air, it was pretty simple.
Yeah,
I feel like you're just kind of like left, right, forward, back. Like,
yeah,
it wasn't crazy. I mean, you could feel every gust of wind.
Mm-hmm.
Like you immediately, you're like, oh, I think we're rising in elevation here just because of a gust of wind.
You got to find comfort in that, though. You got to like the motion. It's like being on a jet ski. Mm-hmm. Like you just got to roll with the waves.
Is a weird feeling too.
Yeah, it is.
Like flying from behind somebody is weird. And then he tried to make me land it.
If you think that's weird, you should fly a helicopter.
Yeah.
That's hard.
I would like to, like, at least go and, like, see it a little bit more, like, because I've flown in a helicopter, but I'd like to, like, get, like,
manipulate the controls.
Just the basis of it a little bit more, just to kind of have a little bit more knowledge, because I feel so lost on aviation in a lot of ways, and I feel most people are probably pretty clueless on aviation.
I think you'll have an opportunity pretty soon to go up with one of us in helicopters.
We all think we know aviation, I think.
Yeah.
All men think that they can land a plane.
For sure.
I mean, I guess if you can land it and not take it off again.
If I'm on a commercial flight and they come on the, saying they're looking for a pilot, I'm jumping out of my seat. I'm going up there.
Aren't they always looking for a pilot?
Yeah. Dude, I had a patient the other day. He's like, yo, did you see that Southwest flight that hit a bird a couple days before Christmas? Yeah, they're taking out of New Orleans, and that bird got selected in the number one engine, had complete engine failure. Anyways, they were able to just turn around and land it right away. But my patient was on that flight.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, dude. He's like, I was crying. I thought I was gonna die. The pilots didn't come on one time and tell everyone what was going on because they're in the zone. Yeah, and that's their time to shine.
Yep.
So
I was in New York when, I lived in New York when they landed the one on the Hudson.
Oh, yeah, great story.
Sully landed that one.
Dude, that's an epic movie.
Great movie.
Oh, my God, so good.
His whole story is cool, but, yeah, I mean, same deal. Just simple birds hit and...
Bird strike.
They were, in the city. That was probably so scary to see from buildings.
Out in Florida, I mean, you can land anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, they're flying building height near buildings. That is terrifying, especially for New York City. I mean, they have some built up trauma, of course, for planes. But yeah, that was a crazy one. There's some good stories of that, kind of pilots being heroes.
Unfortunately, there is.
Yeah.
Mike Patey just put out a really great video about aviation, though, about his 3-strike rule, and it's something that I've applied towards my flying. Is that if there's 3 strikes, whether they're hitting you from any angle, it could be that you didn't fix the hot glue on that window, or it's dark. He said if it's dark, if it's nighttime, that's automatically one strike. Or if somebody's running behind, or you're delayed because of this, or you're trying to rush to get there. If you have 3 strikes from any angle, call it off.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. I feel like that's pretty easy to get 3 strikes.
It is. It is easy. It is easy to get 3 strikes.
Yeah, because I'm sure you could look at a lot of situations and pull out 3 strikes if you're really digging. But then,
they have to be significant enough for it to cross your mind and make you justify if you're making, to make a decision on.
Yeah. Especially
if you're making a decision on 3 different things in order to fly, it's probably not going to be a good flight.
And it's scary too. If you got your family with you or something, Definitely. I see a lot of the guys out in Utah, all the Diesel brother guys, they're always flying with their families and stuff. You got to have such a level of stress and worry and stuff at that point. Cause
yeah, they have great aircrafts though. Those guys.
They all seem very responsible.
They are.
And very well maintained aircraft. I would imagine it's when you're doing aircraft on a tight budget is when things probably get a little more slipped up. Like
what I did at the time, flying out of Virginia when I had the failure. That would have been 3 strikes. I shouldn't have flown that day, but I didn't see Patey's video.
Yeah.
We had weather. We had a low cloud ceiling. We were in a plane we had never flown before. We were just kind of out of our element.
Yeah.
And we rushed it. We could have flown home Sunday with no clouds.
Yeah, you could have just waited a little bit.
Gone through the plane a little more.
You know who I was messaging on Instagram that said he would come on if he's ever in the area is Fred North.
Oh, dude. That dude's a badass.
Dude, his stuff is so sick.
That guy's
He's in every movie ever.
I know.
He's any action movie.
You should check out his Instagram. He's sick.
On Instagram, Fred North is probably one of the coolest pages to follow because any good movie you've watched where there's a helicopter scene, it's probably him flying.
That guy can wheel a helicopter. Holy crap.
He'll be reverse, keeping up with cars and stuff.
I watch those videos. I'm like, yeah, I could do that.
He's cruising, the car's coming at him, and he's just full speed reverse, basically.
He's like a Ken Block of helicopters.
Yeah, but he's super low key about it. I feel like he's not he'll just post oh yeah, just did this, and I'm like, Jesus, that the I don't know, the way he articulates a helicopter is way above my understanding of how a helicopter can even work.
Yeah.
And he just wheels it.
Yeah, he does. He's a super good pilot.
Yeah, and I think he owns the helicopters that they use in the videos too.
He does. He has an A-Star, and then I think they kind of wrap it, depending on what they're shooting with it.
But even like he does the filming, or he does like the helicopter driving.
He's the pilot, and then there's somebody in the helicopter with him operating the camera.
Yeah. So like but then they'll also use him if they have like a stunt that needs to be done. So they kind of does two different roles. Either they film with the helicopter, or the helicopter's the stunt.
Exactly.
So he's like stunt driver or stunt pilot, I guess you could say. I'm sure that's not many people are stunt pilots.
He'd be really cool to have on.
Yeah, he
live
just had a
around
book
here?
out. No, I think he's in California.
Okay.
But he just came out with a book, so seems like an interesting one.
Okay.
Where's your burnout car at? What's the plan with that
Hellcat?
thing? Yeah, I saw you posted about his missing his doors.
Yeah, Garrett cut the harness off of it. It's so funny.
He cut the harness off?
Off the doors. Instead of unplugging it, he just cut the wires. I'm like, dude, it literally unplugs.
It's a prank, dude. It's a prank.
It's a prank. Yeah, that makes it better. So who's going to fix it?
It's a prank, dude. It's fine.
Nah, it's been sitting. It was down in Fort Myers at Shop Hellcats, and I just never took the time to go get it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine, but I'm actually really diving into it, and we pulled the wrap off, and it needs a lot of little stuff, to get it right.
Yeah.
And so that's what I wanted. I want to get it back to like a really nice car.
It was a pretty nice example for how many miles it had.
Absolutely.
On it.
Yeah.
Surprisingly like clean exterior for that usage, because any other Hellcat of that usage would have already been slid into a pedestrian.
I was talking to Shop Hellcats guys. I'm like, you want to buy it? And they're like, dude, you beat the living crap out of this car. I'm like, just throw me a number, man. But now I want to keep it.
I mean, you kind of need it for some content.
Yeah. No, I'm glad it's around. I'm glad it's back.
You're running out of vehicles here.
That boat's got to get here now.
Yeah. The vehicles that you have currently are the Hellcat, your truck. You have something else, right?
Carolina's Cayenne, Hellcat. Yes.
You have a Fox body somewhere, dude.
Yeah.
Clean silver Fox body somewhere.
And a Ford Ranger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But are you going to use that thing for burnouts again? I mean, it did good burnouts.
What?
The Hellcat. Are you going to get it ready for burnouts, or is it?
I'll probably do another one.
Yeah.
Probably the Cleo's cars in April. I'll do with it.
It's tough because, like, do you see that as like a winning burnout car? Like,
No.
do you think it could win one?
I think it could win Burnout Rivals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where it's tough, because like going out there like with a car that can't win.
Yeah, but James is Killer B now, which is just ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a little.
It should be in the pro class, not the Burnout Rivals.
At least it's not a truck. I appreciate that your Hellcat's not a truck.
Yeah.
Because everybody has a truck.
Yeah.
It's like the go-to is just weld your diff on your
It'd be
single
cool if
cab.
somebody built like a super clean Australian burnout car for the U.S. Mm-hmm. Like the real narrow rear end that's tucked. Just
You weren't there for Kyle's burnout with the Ute, the Australian. Dude, that car is so much higher level than any other burnout car.
The one he brought here or something?
That thing is so much higher of a level of like how it operates in the burnout pit than any other U.S. car, that it's not even close.
Yeah.
Like the way that it was manipulating like RPM while he was doing the burnout, like it was timed in the ECU, so it was starting to pull power, so it wasn't like hitting the limiter as he was like burning off his tires more, and like just every little thing about that car works so well for burnouts that we're so far behind all of that.
I feel like we look like a bunch of high school kids at the racetrack at Tessenton to all the Australians.
Yes. And listen, I'll be the first to tell you, I've done plenty of horrible burnouts.
Yeah.
Plenty. My most recent one, the belt came off almost immediately, so it was losing voltage. So I would like floor it, and it would like
bog out.
And then like I couldn't steer because I usually steer with the gas. So like you go wide open throttle and expect it to steer, but it doesn't.
And then it's
so
hot,
it just
sticky,
goes straight.
so you can't turn and blah blah blah.
Yeah, and it doesn't make that much power. Like you probably make like what 800 horsepower with that Hellcat.
Yeah, at least to the wheels.
I make like 400.
Yeah.
And then it's on like a
Hellcat's got the power.
The Hellcat's got the power, and it sounds right. Like it could win a burnout contest. It probably could. It may need a different exhaust to be like a little more rowdy.
Yeah, we're doing that.
Yeah, some kind of like Zoomies or something.
I don't think I'm gonna go the Zoomies route, but
I'm curious on that because Zoomies aren't allowed in Australia. So I'm curious how the rules will evolve because you almost have to look ahead at what the rules will do.
yeah,
Like, will you need a hood? Will you need all your body panels? Will you need exhaust out the back?
right.
Steel wheels is already a good one. Don't need aluminum wheels coming apart. But yeah, it's tough. Like, how do you prepare for that? And then doing the Florida ones is easy, but going to Connecticut is tough.
Yeah, it's fun when we ship all our cars.
It's fun when they end up on Garrett's Transport.
Heck yeah,
That's great.
It is.
I'm all for that.
Connecticut event will be cool.
Yeah, I kind of
First
want to.
New England event for Gleason cars.
I know the Northeast, man.
It's gonna hit.
It's getting it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really good event.
I'm excited for them to go to the Northeast because that's where I'm from, and there's not that much
I know.
cool car stuff up there.
It's gonna bring a crowd.
Yeah,
For sure.
and it'd be cool if they did spectator drags up there too because that has such a big following.
Is it a circle track where we're going?
Yeah, isn't there Crown Vics going there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so maybe some spectator
I'm sure
drags.
they'll do that.
Spectator burnout car drags.
Burnout rival spectator drags with your burnout car.
Oh man, everybody would crash. Basically everyone. James would fully total white trash. Oh shit, I'm gonna get demonetized for saying that. You can't say that on like Facebook.
What?
White trash.
Really?
Like your account could get like banned for like 30 days if you
Facebook's so weird.
comment white trash
I don't
on
even
something.
post on Facebook.
Facebook's a good platform.
I've heard that you've done well with it.
It's a pretty good platform. Well, anything else we need to go over here? Anything you got for me? Anything interesting going on?
Just grinding, dude. 75 days.
Yeah.
Day 13.
I know this will come out in like a couple weeks, so.
Couple weeks. That's your lead time? Jesus,
No, it's like,
dude.
Well, a couple weeks is only 2.
You
That's
gotta
only
stay up
2
till 2
Mondays.
a.m. and edit these videos.
I mean, they could be edited, but you can't come out with podcasts that much.
True. How often are you posting?
I post every Monday for sure, almost every Monday and Friday.
That's cool. I like that you have like a set day that you post and people can expect it.
Every Monday at 8 a.m. it goes up. And Spotify, their auto downloads a lot of the time. Mm-hmm. So like people can set up their auto downloads. So just like
Cool.
as soon as it goes up, I guess that's how Spotify works. I use YouTube Premium and it's great.
Yeah, YouTube Premium.
No ads is kind of the key.
If you don't have YouTube Premium, I highly recommend it.
It's so much better.
Paying that money to not see the ads, you don't realize how great it is until like 5 days in, and you're like, crap, this is great.
And I feel bad for people that watch this because like if you listen to this podcast on YouTube, you're gonna get a lot of ads.
Yeah.
It's a long video.
Yeah.
And if you have a 10-minute video, they're gonna put 3, 4, 5 ads in there.
Yeah.
If you have a 2-hour video, they're going to put the same amount of ads that they put in 10 minutes
Yeah.
every 10 minutes.
I know.
So it's just going to just
Blast you.
steamroll people. And
will.
it ruins, I think, engagement because of that.
Yeah. What is your average view duration on your podcast? I'm curious.
It's usually like 30 to 40 minutes.
What?
Yeah.
That's really long.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's really good.
So that's average. So, I mean, that's a good amount
That's
of people
amazing.
listening through to the end.
That's way higher than
I usually try to say really crazy shit towards the end. Like that's
keep
when I
them-
really get crazy because I know less people are listening.
Yeah.
So I can really get a little crazy on it. Like
Yeah, so how long you been a communist?
yeah, so freaking Trump's
Side by side blog.
Trump's actually president, if you didn't know. He's actually running the government right now and people don't realize.
I would believe it.
He's pulling all the strings right now.
I'd believe it.
I actually
dude.
love that when people say that. They're like, he's actually pulling the strings right now. I'm like, then why do you also say the government like is so bad right now? Like he's either doing it or he's not.
Yeah.
It's fun to listen to crazy people. That's why I love Twitter so much.
Really? I gotta
Dude.
start getting on there.
X is 100% the best platform.
Really? I gotta get on there.
100% the best one to be on.
Okay.
It's all like, I don't think car content will ever do well there
Yeah.
because I don't think anybody's there for that.
Right.
But sometimes I like to just say crazy shit. Like yesterday I said, science is made up, doesn't exist. Science just doesn't even exist,
No
dude.
one can moderate it.
No one
That
can
is
stop
false.
me.
What? Why would you say that?
Science doesn't even exist, dude. So I was wondering the other day, though.
Are you being for real?
No.
Birds can't fly either.
Yeah, birds can't. Well, they're just drones.
Yeah.
Just government drones, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nobody's ever done science.
Birds aren't even real.
They're just government drones. But you would know this in aviation. I was watching that dude that did that skydive, Felix, whatever, from like the edge of space.
Mm-hmm.
Was he, like, once he got to his speed, was he picking up speed? Like, he got to, like he jumped and, like, he's going whatever mile an hour down. Like, he's not going to pick up speed the whole way, right?
You reach a terminal velocity where your resistance, of the air that you're in, controls your rate.
Yeah.
Right. The Earth is always pulling at, I think it's like 8.6 meters per second squared or something like that. I can't remember the gravitational force of the Earth, but
I thought it was like 14.
Whatever the number it is. But, the air is thinner the higher you are up. So I believe that, he's able to, I believe he would actually be slowing down as he became closer to Earth, but it wouldn't be by a lot. And so, he's going to reach a point where you reach your terminal velocity, and it happens very quickly.
That's what I was kind of thinking, because, like, I was like, man, like, it's really impressive, but, like, it's probably going just as fast as every other skydiver.
Yeah, he is.
So, like,
he was.
It's really just a longer skydive.
It was, yes.
Like, people probably look at that and they're like, oh, man, he's just picking up speed, just getting faster and faster.
The issue he had was that, a skydiver jumping at 10,000 feet, they can control the way that their body moves very easily, by manipulating the plane of their hands and arms and legs. But with Felix jumping out that high, they were worried about him getting into an uncontrollable spin.
Yeah.
Spinning too fast. And so that's what he practiced the most, was controlling that spin in in a pressurized suit.
Yeah, he was in a spacesuit on that deal.
Yeah. Otherwise his blood would boil. It's kind of crazy. So, and if he gets into that spin and passes it out, his chute would have deployed, but spinning that fast, it would
I love that Red Bull was like, yeah, we'll sponsor you, dude. For sure.
Go for it. Well, let us know what you need.
Yeah, how high? All right.
Yeah.
So he was worried about his blood boiling and stopping the spin, because once you start spinning, G's
not
on your
not the blood boiling, but he was worried about passing out from spinning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So once you start spinning, I mean, the G force on your body is probably gonna be insane.
Yeah, it would have knocked him out.
Yeah.
Blackout for sure.
And then probably killed him.
Yep.
Even if the chute deployed.
Yeah, but you reach a terminal velocity. What a misconception about jumping out of airplanes is that you're gonna get that empty stomach feeling. When you go over a hill really fast or a roller coaster, because you're moving at a rate, you're losing G-force or your weight. But when you jump out of an airplane as skydiving, you actually slow down.
You slow down from the jump, and as you're going down, you slow down?
The velocity of the aircraft is higher than your terminal velocity as a human usually. So when you're jumping out of an aircraft, you're actually slowing down.
Yeah.
To meet your terminal velocity as a human.
Okay. Yeah. So, and then there's also a lot of drag for the most part, even just in like this, whatever you're wearing, usually when you go skydiving has a pretty good amount of drag. Yeah. When I went skydiving, I didn't feel like we were going that fast.
No. And I could be wrong about that. I'm sure some people are going to correct me on that. Like, some planes don't travel that fast, but jumping out of some planes, you don't get that empty stomach feeling.
Well, there was the one dude that did the skydive and he landed in a net. Like 10,000 feet
crazy.
To just like no parachute, just like into a net.
That's a pretty epic video.
Yeah, like that. But you're only going the same, like the speed is, like he knew what his speed was going to be. It wasn't going to like surprise him, like pick up a bunch of speed. Maybe if you like nosedive a little bit, you can kind of get a little more speed. I think Jerry Seinfeld used to have a joke like, how does Superman fly faster? Like he's... You know what I mean? He'd be like, how does he like, I get he's flying, but like, how do you go faster? You like put your arms tighter? Like, how do you control the speed? Yeah. You do a swan dive out of a plane sounds terrifying, even if you're not.
Have you gone skydiving?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Me and Garrett did it once.
Yeah.
Also, I was watching a video the other day of people getting out of a helicopter. Do they tell you not to duck, or do they tell you to duck? Because the blades are pretty high.
Instinct.
It's just instinct, because I'm like, why is everybody was like...
It's instinct.
You're like 10 feet from the blades half the time. And it's just instinct, because everybody always looks stupid getting out, because you're like...
Yeah, but you usually can't see the blades, and that's what the issue too, Like you really don't know. If you land on a slope, the rotor blades can be tilted. So if you walk uphill from a helicopter, when you get out and it's running, you could run into that issue.
I watched this guy walk behind one the other day.
Dude, so scary. Did he die?
No.
Really?
He just walked right behind the prop. And the pilot was in there just like looking
Oh, I
at him,
saw that.
watching
He
him
was
do
like
it.
wide-eyed.
He's like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, I
like,
saw that.
Just
Really scary
walking
video.
out the back.
It's like a helicopter pilot's worst nightmare.
I would imagine, yeah. And you can't do anything at that point. You can't go chase him or anything.
There's a video recently of some pilots that got out of a running helicopter and then it started spinning while they were out of it.
Frick, that's scary. Have you seen the video of the Chernobyl helicopter? Where it like goes like they're dumping water on it, on the Chernobyl, and like the helicopter flies over it, and you just see the blades just like lawn dart out because it's just like getting hit with radiation.
What?
So they just like the thing just kind of like crumples into air and just falls because they were just dumping. That was their.
They didn't know what to do.
That was all they could do.
Yeah.
Like a Tesla fire. They were just dumping water on it.
Yeah.
And that thing's still just sitting there doing the same thing, but they flew over it and it just like, it kind of just melts away and just falls.
Weird.
Just like loses the props and
I'll have to
stuff.
check it out.
Yeah, it's pretty scary.
Huh.
There's every time I'm at your brother's house, he's only playing aviation failure clips.
Yeah, I think it's a great way to learn.
He just watches those on repeat.
Yeah, we do too.
It's probably not great for his wife to watch.
No,
with
but it's a
him.
great way to learn because, and that's what I did a lot when I first became a pilot, is I was watch all those and I'd be like, this is what's going wrong and this is how I would fix it, you know?
Mm-hmm. I know there's that one really famous aircraft video where it's like a Boeing 777, like big dog, whatever, like the big one is with the tank in it, and it gets up and the tank comes loose.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that one's freaking terrifying. I just watched that one the other day where it like...
Yeah, they did a high performance takeoff and just went straight up and then cargo got loose and weight balance is really important in airplanes.
There's a pretty good like old story too of them trying to rescue some people that were in a stadium. Have you ever watched that one? In like the Middle East. And
with the Hercules, they put the rockets on.
Yeah, they put the rockets on. They spent like
sick.
They spent like whatever it was, like $150 million just to figure it out. They got to figure it out, and then they didn't need to use it.
Yeah,
it was the most government thing ever, where they were just like, "We got to figure it out."
It was sick.
Too late.
I know.
That was pretty good.
It was.
Well, we'll end it off there, man. I know
Sounds
you got to
good.
go flying. Thanks for coming on, guys. Check out Teets and Turbos on all the platforms. Find his secret TikTok account, but we'll see you guys next
Actually,
time.
TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube right now.
Oh, shit.
I know.
Big dog, dude.
If somebody finds it and you post a video, it's gonna be gold. It'll be out there one day.